That didn't work.
Okay, hence the reason why I'm in Maritza.
Apparently we need Maritza. It's these high-tech things, one button blows me for a loop. There we go, we're on.
Okay, I'd like to call to order the Thursday, May 10th, 2018 Board of Health meeting. It is now 6:35, and this meeting is being recorded audio and visually. Roll call.
Dave Williams.
Here.
Elizabeth Stevens.
Here.
Dave Adams.
Here.
Roland Larachelle.
Here.
Anthony Pascali.
Yeah. Excellent.
Full
Everybody's here.
attendance.
Okay, agenda item 3, accepting the minutes. We have a March 8th, an April 12th, and a May 3rd working meeting. So,
So the only thing I have is, I'll make a motion to accept March 8th, April 12th, and May 3rd, 2018.
So we're combining.
well, unless somebody objects to doing them all three.
No, there was only that one typo on the heading that you
Yeah.
addressed before anybody else had a
Yeah.
chance, and that's been corrected.
Yeah.
So I will second that as, if we want to take it as a block, I didn't see anything.
No, because I was not here for one of those meetings, so I
Okay.
can't vote on one of them.
So let's do,
Individually, please.
yeah, so let's do this individually. So 3A, March 8th, take a motion to accept. All right, Dave, you want to make a motion?
So we have to rescind my motion?
You already rescinded it,
Oh, we never made a second, so.
Okay.
so.
So I'll make a motion to accept March 8th, 2018 minutes.
I'll
Second. Okay. Discussion, adding, additions, corrections? Okay, if none, all those in favor? Okay, unanimous. Agenda item 3B, April 12th.
I'll make a motion to accept as written.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Tony. Second, any discussion, additions, deletions, corrections? If none, all those in favor? Okay. 4 approved, 1 abstain. Okay,
One abstain.
abstain. Agenda item 3C. Agenda item 3C, May 3rd, the working meeting for the ICS.
I'll make a motion to accept the May 3rd working meeting minutes.
Okay, we have a motion, do we have a second? Second? Okay, Elizabeth, second. Featuring by the wire. The Kentucky Derby was a photo finish, but feature. Any corrections, deletions, additions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Unanimous, full board. Okay, what?
Not to interject, but Dave, didn't you initially propose a change?
You already, yeah, the changes are already been made.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't propose the change, I just sent an email saying
Yeah.
there needed to be a change to the date. It's already
That was
That was changed, and then.
Yep.
Okay, agenda item number 4, citizen forum. If there's anybody who has anything to bring to the board. Mr. Marquetti, yeah, why don't you come up, brother?
I wanted to ask about 9 Rose Street. I saw in the PPP subcommittee meeting that they were voting to demolish it. I just wanted to know if you could give me an update on it, or if you had planned on talking about it, I'll wait.
We had a light update.
Yeah, so, as was pointing out to me, during agenda item number 7, we're going to do the updates on all the properties that we have. If
Okay.
for some reason we miss Rose Street, we'll bring it up.
Sure
We won't miss
include it.
any
We
of
won't
them.
miss
Get
Rose.
that
All right,
right.
thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? All right, Seeing none, let's move on to agenda item number 5, Casella. Tracy?
Just have one quick update for the board.
Oh,
So last update was we were talking about status of permits. And we had the CAD 1 permit that was out for DEP's final review. We did receive a provisional permit on April 27th. So DEP will be accepting public comment on that, I believe, until May 18th, and then the permit will go final. But they issue a provisional so you can get the permit process underway. So we have our contractors on site fully mobilized, and we are in the midst of construction.
Do you have any questions?
just one quick thing.
Yeah.
I remember getting an email from Anna
Mhm.
about a couple of odor issues.
Yep.
And then, I'm trying to remember and get home. Was it something about some of the odor treatment equipment that was eliminated? Or gonna be eliminated, or,
Was
don't
she talking
remember.
about litter fence?
nope, no, it was odor.
Okay.
And then there was something else pertaining to odor control that was taken out of service.
Oh,
It wasn't?
This was the email, it
The
was just
litter fence
last
has to be
week.
removed.
There was,
Yeah, no, and that's gonna go.
it was about the
stuff.
misting system that was gonna be down.
Right, so we have several different
Oh.
types of misting systems. We have 3 separate portable misters that can be moved throughout the site, and then we have fixed fence line. And the fence line misters are on litter fence poles. So in
Okay.
order to do the closure on the east side, the road has to move out, thus a certain section of litter fence poles have to come down. So I think she's communicating that where those poles are down, the misting system has to
Okay.
come down as well.
And I will tell you, and I do for myself appreciate it because I have been doing a lot of work at our facility out west and we get off at 291
Mm-hmm.
and the odor that comes
Past
off
Chafee.
of that one right there,
Yeah,
right that you can see.
Yep.
I have never smelt the odor in this town that one stinks every morning. It is terrible, so we appreciate it.
sure.
I know I do. That and the birds, it's loaded with birds too. And we don't see those problems.
Okay. Any other questions? Tracy? Go ahead.
Just make a comment.
Yeah.
Tracy mentioned a comment period. Normally, on this type of thing, there isn't a comment period, to my knowledge.
That's correct.
However, DEP has accommodated it. We have some injects from Ty and Bond that we have shared with Casella. We're working with Casella, and they are happily working with us to address our concerns. So as of right now, my intention is not to turn them into DEP, but to continue working with Casella with them.
Okay.
I do have one thing. How's December looking? Is it still that timeframe of complete shutdown?
Yeah, so right now, we're still looking at sometime around the Thanksgiving time period. So as the summer goes, so we've already had a disruption in the market. 3 of the waste burners went down. 3 of the waste burners went down. So that means there's trash out in the market that has to go somewhere. So those are the types of things that will move that timeline. If there continues to be disruption in the waste stream in Massachusetts and we have to take more, then that's how the timeline's gonna move as we get from here to the end of the year.
How will Casella then, I mean, obviously probably through the Board of Health and the town, but notification to, it'll be our responsibility to send it to the citizens of the town, but what about, is there like a 30-day notification saying this is it?
So
October.
there's 2 things we have to satisfy. So of course the contract, which is being handled between our home office and the town manager. That's not part of my day-to-day. So there'll be communication between that line, I can guarantee you that. Secondly, we have a requirement to notify the DEP at least within 6 months of our closure, and we've already done that. We know the horizon is coming, that is not going to move, so we've already taken care of that notification. So how you actually do it is we are doing monthly surveys of the landfill, and that's truly the only way to be able to know exactly what you have left for waste in place. So as construction goes, that will change a number. Like I said, as any market disruptions or if the market goes up, the market goes down, and what I mean by that is the flow of tons within the state. That's all gonna have to play into those monthly surveys to be able to get to a final date.
Okay, thank you.
Tracy, is it that erratic where you can't make some type of projection to figure out?
Yes.
It really is.
It is, you don't predict that three of the largest people who bring in waste are gonna all go down in the same 2 weeks. I believe, and I don't, I'm not in the waste combustion business, so I don't understand how their processes work from day to day. But it's usually not that all 3 of them are down, so, yeah. So things like that can happen.
Thank you.
There can also be interruptions in transportation as well, will cause a delay in that.
Thanks.
Thank you, Tracy.
All set, rolling? Elizabeth?
Good.
Okay, if none, thank you, Tracy. Agenda item 6, subcommittee announcements. 6A, landfill oversight committee.
So we've sat down, we've done the new mission statement between Roland and I and Andy, so that is coming out. We're gonna probably sit down, I'll probably get with Andy next week to set up a date for the first meeting that will for the landfill oversight committee. And set an agenda up and then start moving it along. I don't see the meetings going more than an hour, but the mission statement itself has changed not only from number 58 that we're required to have, but also transforming that into after the closure of the landfill itself. So what are we gonna do with that land? So we're trying to reinvent ourselves at the same time. So that's pretty much the update right
Ski slope.
now. No ski slope. School. Yeah.
I'm telling you, a sledding slope with tubes and a T-bar, that would rock.
Well, you and I talked about that, a circle path all the way around the tubing. So. All set?
Yeah.
And an ambulance waiting with a splint at the bottom.
If I may on
And
that,
all the
Yeah.
vaccines.
this board is gonna have to approve the mission statement because the subcommittee was created by the board. So at some point, we'll be bringing the mission statement forward for the board's consideration and vote.
Okay.
I do have a question. So then is that gonna be open to other people, citizens, as well as council? How is that gonna work? Or is it still just gonna be our committee?
No,
So,
Because there was, there was
So right
talk,
now-
because there was some talk before about starting the post-closure committee. So it sounds like you guys want to
we did not
wind
change,
this into
we
that?
did not change membership,
Okay.
if I
Yeah,
remember
we can't,
correctly.
we can't change it. So all we can do is do the invite, and send that out. Quorum will consist of who shows up,
Okay.
because we know it's been erratic as far as other individuals not showing up. So we decided on the quorum, obviously it has to come to a vote, but I'll give that brief, but I believe probably next Board of Health meeting,
Okay.
and I'll give everybody a copy of it, and,
It's,
but it's the same, it's the
But you
same,
felt-
the statement is really more of a, what can we do afterwards, and then let that morph into something else, maybe
Okay.
post landfill closure.
Okay.
still an open meeting, still has to be
Yeah.
Right,
public
but
meeting
there
law,
was, like
so
I
it's
said, there
open to the
had been,
citizens.
We talked about
there
it.
had been
Yep.
some talk about actually turning it into a post-closure board. That's why I was wondering.
And that could be, but that's why we kind of revamped the mission
Okay.
statement itself, so it could do the post-closure.
As long as you invite, sort of like the airport and all that, because.
Yeah, then
That's
that's
still
all
in
go
there.
out. And I talked to the airport
As long-
manager and
because-
everything already
because-
about it.
As long as they're invited and they have input, because it is right next to their, there's.
And that's part of that was part of the rule anyway.
That was the
Yeah.
agreement.
The manager of the airport and the airport commission are part of this oversight committee. One of the concerns was that if they don't go to a meeting, you can't handcuff people, but we also didn't want the meeting to have to be canceled because we were handcuffed by a lack of a quorum. And basically, that's to funnel any kind of concerns up to this board or wherever it may go. So we didn't want to lose that continuity.
Anyways, the Board of Health is gonna be the oversight for us anyway,
Mhm.
so any recommendation, there are gonna be recommendations coming up.
Right.
That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
And may also, to Elizabeth's point, I believe the condition dictates who has to be on it. but the condition does not limit to that. It says these people shall be members, however, the board can do what they want.
And I think the airport manager is on board. I thought we had a nice long talk about it. So hopefully that all comes to fruition.
Okay. Anything else on landfill oversight? If none, traffic, Elizabeth?
Finally had a meeting this week, been off for 2 months, rather short meeting actually. They're actually, Tripic is working on a grant to do an active shooter drill. I'll keep you posted on that. We're not really sure when that's going to come to fruition. But next month they're going to have training from the Office of Tech Assist, and the VNA is going to do a presentation on homebound persons in emergency. And that's about it.
Okay, any questions? Okay. If none, move on. Agenda item 6C, sustainability. Okay, you all have a copy of what we worked on the sustainability committee, and we did research on what other towns have for plastic bag bans. And interestingly, they all seem to be the same. No one really goes with a pay for a plastic bag that's really plastic bag ban, and then there's a pay if you want like paper. Sometimes it's paper, sometimes paper free, and then they highly encourage reusable, buying, the reusable bags, asking the stores to be, to offer them at a reasonable cost. I think of this when I think of my wife. My wife will go to the store here and she'll use plastic bags, but then she goes to England, and she always takes her recycling bags with her. And because they charge 5 cents for the bag. And it's like, and there's so many people like that. I mean, with just that little bit, that little push one way about the 5 cents, which comes to 25 cents, for 5 bags. So this is just nothing more than we're bringing it forward for the board to consider from the sustainability. The red is Andy's edits, where he's already added what he thinks should be there, maybe should be taken out. And we would, at some point, be looking for a motion to start to put this into action. But that's not what we're doing now. We're just providing the information here, just for review, and then we'll have comments. I think we're going to ask for it to be put on the agenda for the next board meeting.
So we should have comments for it.
Yeah, okay. And then so not now, this is just for your
I'm glad to see,
pleasure.
I'm glad to see it's mentioned about the biodegradable. I saw, I don't know if it was a History Channel or whatever, but I think it's Indonesia that's inundated with the bags, and they have a vegetable
Yeah, vegetable base.
bag
Yeah,
that after you're done with it, put it in the sink, run water, and it dissolves.
yeah. So, and they
So
did,
if it's thrown out, or eat it, but I mean, it's a vegetable base. I thought it was pretty good because if you have people that really don't care and they throw the thing out the car in the woods, the next rainstorm, it's gonna go away because it's biodegradable.
But then
So-
you have to get businesses to buy it.
well, as soon as it starts, I mean,
And you know what?
No, I
Then
know.
you get, then they pay for it, or you get the reusable bag.
Right, no, I know. I'm
Or the
just-
people, find out where they can buy them if they wanna use.
And I'll take it to, it's a mindset.
Yep,
No, it
Once
is.
you give people something, they take hold of it, and it's hard to get rid of it. So I would say this is, once we start enforcing it and all that kind of stuff, or once it gets passed, or if it gets passed, I think, mindsets will change and it'll go forward.
and it is, mindset and attitude.
Like
We
it
forget the
hasn't
bags in
seen
the car, we're halfway through Big Bunnies or Big Y, and oh, shoot.
My wife does that now.
You go to go get them out of the car, I'll go to the register and,
Or I'll just buy another one. Right
The,
there.
when this was first introduced, I had proposed that the board might want to also look at styrofoam,
Yes, and you know, I have to say,
and I'm not throwing it at you again, I just
Did
want to
you
keep
not-
it on your mind if you want to
did you
consider
not
that.
say that Dunkin' Donuts was going to do away with their
I
styrofoam
think it's
already?
2 years.
Supposedly
Yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts as a whole,
Yes.
Dunkin' Donuts is going to
Okay.
go with
So, but
Because
that's
I did
maybe a
think-
year or two away.
Because the one thing that I did notice, and I don't know if anyone else has, but Cumberland Farms has suddenly gone to foam cups now.
foam cup.
Yeah.
Oh, they used to have the cardboard, the.
They used to
foam
have,
cup.
yeah, and now they suddenly have foam cups.
Foam, you gotta remember, foam cups are significantly cheaper.
Yes,
Right.
than paper.
especially
So-
if they're made.
It's a business move, it's a good move on their part business-wise, just not environmental.
Right.
So we had talked about it, and, about having a plastic bag and a styrofoam. And we decided that it makes more sense to parse it out, just do one at a time, because they are separate, they're separate issues, and they're separate bans, rather than combine them together and having two ways for it to go bad. Okay, so we just do one, and then we have every intention to start working on a styrofoam ban immediately, and then get this, and then bring forward at the same time, you know, a styrofoam ban. So
Okay, and obviously this is for a more robust discussion at a later meeting.
Yeah.
I just want to present that if the board does move in that direction, both bans will fall under the same section of our, it'll be like section 5 of the regulation. We'll name it general bans or just general regulations, because it doesn't really fit real tight into anything else. So, but they'll both be in the same section, so we'll have to adopt, and if it's gonna be in 2 steps, reopen and amend at a future time.
Well, we might be able to do them, you know, eventually at the same time, because they're going to be a month or two apart.
I just, if it's going that way, then I want the board to seriously
Do it both.
consider all of the impacts. Not necessarily do it both at the same time, I can do it either way, but all of the impacts that each of these will do.
That would be huge for business.
Just the bags are huge. Show me a place in town that you don't go
Well, no, even
that
the
doesn't give you a
styrofoam.
paper bag.
But even
I mean, a
the,
plastic bag.
right, but even the styrofoam,
Styrofoam,
the restaurants
all
all
the to-go
together.
stuff.
I can't find too many towns that are doing styrofoam. There's a couple, but.
Sturbridge,
Very
all over
few.
Sturbridge.
There's a couple, but not a lot.
Yeah.
So, and again, there was a significant number of communities that did the plastic
Yes.
bag. The research around that is pretty solid. And the town's regulations are all pretty similar. It was a little confusing right in the beginning because they were talking about handles. And one says, what's the big deal with a handle? Plastic bag with a handle. It
Yeah,
comes at
why?
the end where you're talking about wrapping meat. Plastic
Oh,
bag
yes.
for wrapping meat, that doesn't have a handle. Plastic bags for
Oh, so
this
the
is dry
fruit,
cleaning.
Or like the fruit.
Right, or those don't have handles.
Animal waste.
So not,
Yep.
so not getting into, what, you can't wrap your meat and you can't put that in plastic because that's gonna be okay because this is approved. It's only the handled plastic bags at the end. So we originally took that out when we were writing it and then as we went through it, we said, oh, that's why. And we put it back in. So, okay, so we have every intention to try to bring this to a discussion make an agenda item next month. Okay, any questions, comments, concerns? Okay, if not, we'll go on to agenda item 6C, ICS,
D.
6C plus 1, D.
All right, so last Thursday about this time, we went through our very first, we crawled at a very slow pace for our first ICS kind of example of a tabletop exercise. And I think I learned a lot just watching and listening. I think everybody else did, realizing that you have to know your role and stuff like that. And I think it was very successful. We've set another date for the 31st of May to go into the next step, but we may have to change that. Or I'm just going to be absent that day, because if I'm not mistaken, there possibly is a debate that day, and I'll be participating. I believe Mike will be too, a few others. So, but I can go downstairs or upstairs while you guys knock it out over here.
And I
So,
won't be here.
You weren't much good the last time.
Well, we cannot
oh,
have both of you,
I will be,
because then what's the point? We will
so I
I
will
will
say,
be out of state.
so we'll probably have to change it at the end, another date. This time, the next ICS meeting though that we do have, I think everybody has an idea of what kind of role they are playing, or been assigned. So I would highly suggest again to go over the format itself. So we're not reinventing the wheel when we come in here, again. All in all, I thought it was very good. I learned quite a bit. And myself, Roland, and Andy will discuss this probably next week sometime, I'm assuming. If we can set up a date for about an hour to go over.
If you do have questions, go on the, either the MEMR or the FEMA website. I'm gonna go on the website and I'm gonna print up some of the ICS paperwork for different positions, so maybe we can incorporate that into our system as a uniform memory jogger.
Yeah, and I think that's a good idea. I think in the meantime, if you got questions, call or shoot an
Absolutely.
email to everybody, and we'll kind of go over everything. So we can move this along a little bit better for another hour and a
Have
half.
a coffee, we'll sit and chat.
Was there a reason why we, oh, sorry, just want to go ahead.
Go
No,
ahead.
go ahead, it wasn't a
Comment, maybe looking at it more, I know that there's a huge learning curve with this. And throwing us out to the wolves, I think is good, and we had some stimulating conversation last time. It was very beneficial, but I think maybe another approach might be just as useful. Like maybe we spend a little time, you look at each role and we see, not that I need to know any other person's role, but I think the methodology is still there and the approach, and I think it would be beneficial if you take a role and just say, let's just kind of run through it. Even if you run through a different scenario than you plan on giving us to tabletop. But I just still think it's, it was tough because we were all,
So what I'm gonna do is, normally this doesn't happen, what I will do is I'll take more control of the meeting to keep everybody on track, what's going on. I, myself, lessons learned, in my environment as a command, you have an operations section that controls all aspects of everything that's going on. The incident commander or the commander makes the ultimate decision based on the recommendations. So I think we need to morph that a little bit more. And so I will take more of a lead role the next time. And, but I will, again, recommend, go back on the websites, read over them, and we've got, a month or a couple weeks to ask questions. I wouldn't come in here just going, what do I do next? I would highly recommend that we go on the websites, take a look, go step by step, and then ask questions as we're going along. This is for the purpose behind it, yeah.
Have we all done the ICS and NIMS training online?
Yes.
Okay, I was just making sure. Okay, and my other question was there a reason why we couldn't do the 7th for that? Because technically, we were gonna do the second Thursday, the first of June happens to be a Friday. So the second Thursday for our regular meeting actually would be the 14th.
Correct.
So we can do the 7th.
So I just
I'm okay with
wondered,
that.
Works.
so I just wondered if there was a
Yeah,
reason why we couldn't do the 7th.
I'm not back till the 9th.
Yeah, I thought there was somebody at,
I'm not back till the 9th.
So, okay,
But
so
if
that
you'll-
was
you'll
probably
be
right,
there,
but then
I'm
in
leaving.
Ray,
I'm leaving the 31st, and I won't be back till the 9th.
These working meetings are really to get, Dave, Rolly, and I have been in
Right.
ICS since infancy. It's really to work on the comfort level of the people here. That's why we want to beat it out, get you guys comfortable. We don't want to lay the scenario out totally because tabletop is part surprise. However, the goal is to get everybody comfortable with their roles so that when we do have the official tabletop, yes, mistake will still be made,
Yep.
but between the group, we'll be right fixing promptly. And
so,
that's why
Rolly's very familiar with it, and I'm not cutting rule it out by
No.
any stretch, but if he's not here on the 7th.
Whatever
don't
works.
think
Because I think
that
either
this
way,
needs-
either we have a meeting and we lose both of them, or, which is pointless, because I think we need to have at least one of them here
And that's
to
the other reason why
have some
the
kind of.
invitations to
Let's
other
do it this-
bodies were limited.
Let's do it the 7th.
All right, so
Let's
we're
do it
good.
the 7th
Yes.
and move on.
Perfect.
Okay.
And I'll brief roll in on everything as we go
Oh,
along.
of course.
But I would say, and I understand your point, Tony, but what I would say is take those two positions that you've been assigned and note, and
Which I
bring
did.
them, and take those, and then we talk all the time, so by all means,
Right.
ask the questions. And again, and Andy said it, Nolan said it, and we've all said it, you're not gonna be perfect on everything.
Oh, no, and I totally get it, but going through the exercise last time, and Dave, maybe I'm beating a dead horse, because you already said maybe you should.
But I learned a lot.
Yeah, so maybe it's a dead horse, but I still believe that it's a new process, and while, you're teaching us on the fly how to adapt, and I know that it's a unique thing, because everything changes, but there's still methodology, and there's still principles that'll guide us, and I think it's useful.
So, and I'll tell you, like I said before, even last time, the reason why I didn't jump in all the time, every time I saw something that I felt like it was a mistake, was micromanagement.
Yeah.
And everybody's gotta work within each
And
other.
we beat you down once when you went to jump in.
Geez, I know, walked up there and said, stop, you guys,
We
like,
did,
"We're
we
done," and I had to
did.
sit back down.
So what time on the 7th?
The other thing is too, is that human nature,
6:30.
like your position. Which is very difficult.
We wanna do it.
5:30?
I know, I had to.
Well,
sit
no,
down.
it's the point that when you see other positions that are very busy, like
Yeah.
Dave said, operations runs a show.
Yeah,
They're busy. Everybody else wants to be that busy, but some of our positions don't require us to be busy until we're called upon.
absolutely,
And it's,
absolutely.
it's very disciplined, you have to be disciplined to wait, so that
Okay.
you don't
Right.
stray, and that's difficult.
All right, so let's move on, mainly because I think the goal here is that we're moving forward. Okay, we can beat up, maybe it could have been done a little bit different, maybe, we're learning, we're all learning, we're just.
And it was a good job, that wasn't
So
a
we-
criticism towards.
Yeah, so we go to the next one, we're gonna be better the next one, and we will be better
Towards
the
just
one
the
after.
process.
No, you
No, it
can't be
wasn't-
better.
it wasn't
You
good.
can't be
I
better,
know.
you're bogey.
So what time you guys
Burgundy
meeting?
means
Is it
that.
6:30,
Oh,
6:30.
it is
6:30?
6:30?
Wait,
It does, it's,
You want
either
to do
one, I can do
5:30 last
5:30.
time.
5:30?
5:30, 6:30,
Yeah,
whatever.
5:30 works,
5:30.
5:30 works.
Did you get the thing about the zombie thing?
I
About
did.
the-
Is that
See that? That's-
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you're part of the
They
team, so
merged-
you gotta be,
They merged the two, ICS and the zombie, and they had the forms and they had everything at the end, they even have like supply lists and
I
stuff.
actually want to read
Yeah,
that.
that's part of it. I mean, don't reinvent the wheel, because somebody's already doing it.
Yeah.
Just let it adapt to what we have.
Dave, those papers you gave me, can you get them back to me so I can photocopy them?
No.
No, those papers
Top
I gave you.
secret. Top secret.
You'd have to
You may
pay-
die, you may die in the next one.
Hey, let's call
Yeah, I
them.
got you. You
All
got
right.
box empty.
Okay,
Yoda.
let's move it on before I get pinched. Agenda item 7, old business, blight.
Okay, blight update, 80 Hamilton, the council voted to take that one, I am still waiting. Mr. Capari has been in touch with the owners, but he has not got the deed back from them yet. I will press him next week, he is actually on vacation this week. I will press him next week to see what kind of progress he anticipates. If that's gonna get stalled, then I will move forward with a contract under the Board of Health, maybe under the building, depending on which one I think is gonna be less obstacles. But we'll take it down without owning it. 215, actually, let's go to 9 Rose. We sent it out to bid. We got a low bid of 35,000 something, or maybe low 36s. We wrote the contract. All contracts have to be approved by council. So I presented the contract to subcommittee. They approved contract, they approved moving it up to council for a vote. At the council meeting, that will be Monday, I expect that they will, I hope that, anticipate that they will vote positive on that. We will assign the contract from there. We'll have to talk to Benagro, who is the winning contract, who is the winning bid, and ask them how long they will need, and we will enter that into the contract as building will be down within 20 days, 60 days, 90 days, however long Benagro needs to get it done. But that one is on the roll. As soon as council says yes, we're gonna move that one through chapter 143, which is the building department. 215 Hamilton went to court to appoint the receiver last week. The bank sent a representative. So we had to give them the opportunity to make action on it. We made statement that the building was open, and at minimum, we expected the building to be boarded and secured. And actually, the AG's office told them within 24 hours, we want it boarded and secured. That was last Wednesday. As of today, it's not boarded and secured. There's an open door on the side, and there's an open bulkhead. I'm gonna go to tomorrow and board and secure it. They did, however, clean the property, and they mowed the property. But I will go there myself with a screw gun and a lock, and we will board and secure that one. We have that on for another hearing before the judge next week. The AG is gonna present that the banks had an agent here. They didn't even get the minimum done, so we have no faith in them. We want the receiver. While they were here, I asked them to look at 33 Union Street. 33 Union Street is a situation where the police referred it to me. I didn't even know it was a vacant. There's been significant lascivious activity, if you will.
Yeah,
The building is open. We have ordered the owner to board it. The owner has failed to board it. So we are writing the contract as we speak for a board and secure. A contractor's gonna do it because it's not just a couple screws, it's more involved. I brought the Attorney General to that one. They said they will consider it for the receivership program. It's a 4-family, and I think it's in pretty decent shape. It's salvageable. And 361 Worcester Street. This is one that I have chased, got the order on. The courts said the town has to be represented by an attorney, so I've totally stalled on it because I can't go back to court until I have an attorney. We got permission to use Caprera as an attorney. Caprera's got a conflict of interest. Actually, no, not with that one. But in the interim, I started thinking about the receivership program. We have a vacant building, essentially an absentee landlord or a non-responsive landlord. So I called the AG's office and I said, I gave them all my notes, all my history on it, and I said, can we consider this one? So when I go to Worcester next week for the hearing on 215